Morning, men. Sunday, here we go again. Oh, what a disappointing thumbnail to start the day with. Take a look at that. It's the latest badge from the Royal British Legion. £8. And what is it? It's the poppy, one of the most famous symbols in the world, created to remind us of those who fought and died for our country and to remember the veterans who survived. And now it's been tainted by that revolting flag with all the different stripes that represents all that is wrong with current society. You know, the Royal British Legion, I remember one year, my wife and I, my husband and I, spent days writing the names of fallen soldiers on little wooden crosses to be planted in the ground on Remembrance Day. Gave a lot of money to the Legion, more poppies than I could count. Never bought one of those little badges, those little brass badges, for the simple reason, if you've got one of those, then you might not buy a poppy the following year. So I always bought the red pin-on poppy. I don't know what I'm going to do now, because this year I never bought a poppy. And one of the reasons is staring you in your face right now in the image behind me. Let's have a look at the British Legion, shall we, guys? I'll give you some facts and figures. For over 100 years now, boys, the Royal British Legion has been seen as a symbol of remembrance for those who have died for our country. Even if some of them died for the wrong reasons in places like Iraq and Serbia and other places. It also supports our veterans who served and survived. Lots of them with life-changing traumas. Lots of them homeless on the streets. I sometimes think, there by the grace of God go I. Could have happened to me. It didn't, thank God. Lucky I had people in my life to fall back on. Now you can see from the art I'm a veteran. My own family's got a long history of service. My father had 5 sons. All of them, except one, served in the armed forces in different branches. Royal Navy, Parachute Regiment, a missile regiment and an infantry regiment. The 5th brother went off to the Merchant Navy. Oh boy, when he used to come home, and I'd be home on leave at the same time, our little village rocked. Oh, great days. He's gone now, died young, sad. My father, if you were to watch any of the other videos where I detail his actions on D-Day, he landed on Sword Beach. He was mentioned in dispatches during the action in which he was badly wounded. And that video's there somewhere on our channel. Anyhow, back to the Legion. Let's have a look at what I learned about how the Legion operates today. Its finances, pardon me, its leadership pay, the areas that they focus on, and the services it provides to veterans today. Got a spoiler for you guys. It's not a lot these days, or so it seems to me from what I can find out in my research. Its finances, according to their 2023 annual report, the charity held total funds of 350 million, including 88 million in free reserves. That's money available for general use now. It's got long-term investments valued at 254 million. So we're looking at a large financially secure organization, which is just as well, really, considering how much money they spend on remunerations to their top people. I think there's 7 of them. Volunteers as always serve for free, but that's the way of the world, isn't it? Executive pay. The reports list key management team, the director general, and senior executives. I counted 7 senior executives, but I may be wrong on that because these figures are from 2024. Their combined remuneration for these 7 top people was £1.24 million. The top earner, just one of them, his pay is in the band between £170,000 and £179,000 a year. There used to be a time when charities would disclose what their directors were being paid. A few years ago, they managed to get it removed from the law so they didn't have to disclose this information. They don't like you to know that there's people being paid £3,000 per week for basically doing nothing. Trustees remain unpaid, more power to them. But the executives of the Legion, well, they're right up there with the top earners in the UK's largest charities. Now, on its website, the Legion lists broad categories of help: care homes, financial support services, recovery services, and remembering activities. However, and I couldn't find anything, specific project data, for example, how many homeless veterans were rehoused or how many families received sustained support. It's not publicly detailed in recent reports. You think they'd be telling the world about the good work they are doing on their website, but they don't. So it makes it difficult, guys, to assess direct outcomes. Let's look at homeless veterans. What I've found is that they don't actually help homeless veterans. They refer them to other charities like Shelter, who then assist the veterans in finding places to go. So are they really helping homeless veterans? It's like if you go to help to, I don't know, social services, if that's what they call them, and they refer you to the Citizens Advice Bureau. Yeah, they helped in the same way, didn't they? They didn't do nothing. They pointed you in a different direction. Although there was one case file I did found, and they made bigger the fact that they helped one soldier to move out of his tent into a home. So there you go. On the positive side, there was something positive I found. They've got 4, possibly 5 care homes for veterans who need long-term help and help with dementia, that kind of stuff. They take into care. So that is on the positive side, these 4 care homes. But here's my problem with the Legion and why I didn't buy a poppy this year. In recent years, the Legion, as you can see from that image behind me, has promoted new internal policies on equality, diversity, and inclusion. They've got that on their website. You can go and have a look. And support for LGBTQ members and staff. They say it's designed to make the organization open to everyone, but some people, long-term members, donors, people like myself, donor, member. Funnily enough, in the British Legion in Brno, there was a painting on the wall done by my brother. He's a rather good artist, and he did a landscape painting of Sword Beach on Normandy Day, and they hung it on the wall for years. It's gone now. What happened to it, I don't know. But he done it as a tribute to my late father. Oh, wonder where that painting went. Anyhow, uh, so us long-term members, donors, people like myself feel now that the messaging about these policies receive more emphasis than information about frontline welfare programs. And got to be honest, it's hard. Go to their site, have a look, see if you can find out what they actually do. It's not a lot. I mean, it's the Legion is right up there with the RNLI. That's another charity I stopped giving to years ago, not just because of the way they now act as a ferry service for the invasion of our country, but for the way they treated some of their volunteers years ago when they decided to go woke. A lot of volunteer lifeboatmen left the RNLI back then, and that was some years ago, and that's when I stopped giving. They've got immense resources, guys. They're wealthy, and yet the only people, it seems to me, who really benefit are those who work for them. They've lost track, haven't they? To be honest, they're a bit like NATO. Started with great intentions, some great early successes, but now they only exist for the benefit of themselves, for their own existence, and for the pay of their directors. If you want to give money, show your support for veterans. There are other charities out there. Better still, look for a veteran in your own area who may need help and companionship. I'm a veteran, but don't talk to me, I'm a grumpy old bugger. Anyhow, have a look at these guys. Soldiers off the streets. They do real work. I personally knew the founder of that organisation, Big Bill Murray. He was a patriot. Campaigned with him years back in our BNP days. But Big Bill was a good man, a real patriot, and he cared about the veterans, and he founded this charity, and they've done sterling work. You could consider them, or you could look at something like Help for Heroes, and the choice is yours. The choice is always yours. So let's have a look at some of the people who are behind the scenes. Our people. No, my people are the British people. Welsh, Scots, Northern Irish, and the English. And I'm going to chuck in the Irish as well, the Republic of Ireland, as well as our Ulstermen brothers. No, that's my people. Who else have we got? Nicola, Angela, Anne. Yeah, yeah. Not going to make any comments. Oh dear. Okay. Oh my God. They actually found a veteran to join them. I'm guessing the fact that the others haven't stated that they are not veterans. They're just there for the money. Okay. He probably belongs to this group. It's the Royal British Legion. I can find more about diversity and equity and LGBT issues on their site than I can about the work that they do supporting veterans. What are they saying? 2019, RBL launched its first ever LGBTQ branch. 19 years since the UK government lifted the ban of gay and bisexual people serving in the armed forces. I think it was around about 19 years ago, if I recollect correctly. That's about around the time our forces started to turn to total shit. Anyhow, let him get on with it. Okay, guys, I'm thinking that's about it. Disappointed in the fact you didn't want to learn about the origins of the Second World War, but then again, that's up to you. But listen, somebody suggested in a comment from comments I made that I may be considering withdrawing from the field. We shall have to see. But he did suggest that I point you in the history of in the direction of channels like History Debunked, which I've already done. Go visit Simon Webb. Despite the fact he's a Christian Zionist, he still puts out some good information. But here's one more up my street. Let's go have a look. There he is, the Angry Bootneck. Now, this guy is a real combat veteran. He saw real action. Whilst I've been in danger many times, real danger in my time in the forces, this guy was actually seeing it in the front line. And he's a bit pissed off with the British Legion as well. So I think we leave the last couple of words to him, shall we?
The offensive, exercising wokeism. This is why I was so angry and what moved me to make that video. Because literally since the 80s, since I was a kid, and my granddad, like I said, both my granddads fought on the front. My granddad Fred got blew up and he crawled through a minefield and got I don't think it was as high as a military cross, but he got the third highest on it you can get. And he was in the local papers and everything. And he told me all about it. And when he tells you that story as a kid and shows you the newspaper clippings and the medals, it has a profound effect on you. And when he says to you, these are to remember the dead from the war, and that's it. He never said, this is to remember the English dead. It's just the dead, including the Germans. If the Germans are in on the act, why, by all that's holy, if the blokes that are in the SS and the victims are represented by a simple blood red poppy, tell me why this thing needs to be on it now. What does it even mean? What does it even mean? What do the colours mean? If brown and black represent what? Brown and black gays. Well, what's the red one then? Sunburned northern twats who go to Tenerife and don't put any sunblock on. It's never had anything to do with colour. Yellow, is that Japanese homosexuals? No, it isn't. It's ridiculous. So that poppy represented everyone. And then this quit with a straight face, a poppy that represented the dead of every possible ethnicity, region, dialect, sexuality, height, weight, age, anything was represented by a single red poppy. Who the fuck do you think you are, demanding your own precious little stripe there? And then you can't even have the rainbow because, hang on, we have to have a black arrow popping up out the side, and then we need a stupid circle at one end to represent a prolapsed shit locker because 2,000 blokes bounced on it on Saturday night. It's unbelievable. And a nice little off pink for like herpes or whatever it is. You don't need any of it. All you need is that. That's everyone. So this is bollocks. And if you don't think it's bollocks, you don't know anything. Because I could start arguing with that. If everyone gets a stripe and a colour, well, I want one. I want one. Why should the North be stuck in with the South? I'm a chippy northern prick. Why should the North be stuck in with the South? Why should the Welsh, the Scottish...
Made some good points there, didn't he, guys? Oh, dear. I remember when I used to have that fire in my belly, that anger. Really motivate you. And yeah, guys, if you do nothing else, bookmark the Angry Bootneck and follow him on YouTube. I guess that's it for now, guys. You've been listening to Paul Morris, Rotka. See you on the beach, but not the beach my father landed on. You wouldn't like it. Bye now.